Alright, the Dubs' defensive game plan completely stagnated the Lakers' entire offense because they basically reduced everything to ones for either Luka or even Austin in their screening actions, and that just forced both of them to make shots, so if anything, it was probably better for them not to call for one. The Dubs' coverages just depended on where the screen was being set, because whenever it was high, their bigs would show with backside help to take away the short, and whenever it was low, their bigs would drop to take away the lob by retreating, so the Lakers' bigs were basically ineffective. Ayton couldn't get to his short jumper, or even worse, finish over any smaller player when they found him on a duck-in, and Hayes wasn't getting any lobs, so a lot of the times, Luka was just required to create something out of nothing. The Dubs even went to a 1-3-1 a good amount to load up high, so he was seeing 2 to 3 bodies behind his primary defender, and even then, he still somehow managed to navigate that on top of the mixed coverages he was seeing in the SNRs. He was getting to his spots or touching paint damn near every time he drove because he was able to use his first step or was just eating that space against the drop, and it was somewhat the same for Austin whenever he had the rock. But when everything is relying on 2 players creating everything, it's just difficult to sustain, especially when the others can't make shots, or even worse, when they have severe turnover issues as a team. Both of them weren't able to compensate for the ridiculous amount of those because of the Dubs' backside rotations, and those were a big contributor to the Dubs' pace the entire night, so their offense was a contrast on the other end. They were pushing the rock non-stop, and that was causing the Lakers a lot of problems, because they were struggling to set their defense a lot of the times, so the Dubs were getting easy runouts or flowing into quick hitters in transition. The only downside was them running into their own turnover issues from playing a little too fast at times, but the Lakers were struggling just as much in the half court because of all the advantages they got to exploit there, and the Lakers' defensive game plan against Steph did not work, so they had no chance of getting stops. They decided to assign Ayton onto Kuminga, and in theory, it makes sense for a couple reasons, because first, it allowed Ayton to cheat off Kuminga as a spot-up, then second, it also allowed him to assign Rui onto Dre to take away his two-man game with Steph, so it should have been effective. But that didn't work for a couple reasons, because first, Kuminga made the Lakers pay for cheating off him, then second, Steph's gravity off the rock is just as dangerous, so all the Dubs' split or screening actions was putting the Lakers' heads on a swivel trying to track him, and I lost track of the amount of backcuts the Dubs got throughout. Even when the Lakers adjusted in the third by assigning Ayton onto the Dubs' bigs and Rui onto Kuminga, it didn't change anything, because the Dubs' pace never slowed down, and their entire team was decisive on the catch to either shoot, drive, or pass, so all that movement just kept the Lakers in a constant scramble. But that's all without mentioning the advantage Jimmy was creating, because he was either getting to the line whenever he got downhill, or playing bully ball whenever he got Gabe on him, and that was a big part of him closing out the game. When the Lakers managed to cut the lead to single-digit late, they just went to his and Steph's two-man game non-stop, because that just brought Luka and Gabe into the action, so it was obviously easy eats for the both of them, and the two made the right read every time. Overall, this is probably as good as I've seen them as a team, because they didn't have to solely rely on Steph to create everything, and they were able to create just as many advantages through the others, so this is a good sign to start the year. Just watch the tape.
Payton for 2. Beautiful basketball for the Dubs.